Hello, I'm Matt Wright. I'm a content specialist at FamilySearch, and I'm here with Savannah Larson, who is a research specialist at the Family History Library in Salt Lake City. All of us who do family history research reach a point where we need help, whether that's at the beginning when we're just starting to make discoveries, or after a while when we've made a little more progress.
Help comes in many different forms, whether you prefer building your tree and researching based on record hints, watching how-to videos to learn how to do certain research steps, reading informational articles so that you understand the background of your research, reading instructions that walk you through your research step by step. Or if you prefer to meet with somebody, either virtually or in person.
What we want to provide in the videos that follow are some real tips on how you can find online resources to help you, and also ways and resources to reach out to other people. And through these resources, we hope that it will help you discover ancestors and make a real connection with your family heritage. I'm here with Savannah Larson. She's a research specialist from the Family History Library in Salt Lake City. And we are here to talk about how you might find help with your family history through other people. And Savannah, what's a good first step?
The first step that I would suggest is to find out if you have a local family history center. A great way to do that is to go to FamilySearch, and we have a way to find a family history center where you can just put in your address.
It looks like they're all over the world. Savannah.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're all over the world. And some of them are larger centers or libraries, and some of them are just very small centers where you would meet with a person one-on-one. And you can find an area by just going to this search bar and typing in where you want to find a center. So for example, I wanted to find one in Raymond, Alberta, and I just type in Raymond, and it will show me where the center is and give me the hours that it's open. And then they also have a website and directions. So if I click on the website, it will give me information about that center. And even contact information if I want to contact them ahead of time and get a little bit more information, make sure somebody's actually there. And if there are classes, it will have class content and information. So there's a lot that's available just by searching your local area, seeing what's available really close to home.
Nice. And so this is part of a network of family search centers, like you mentioned, around the world. And this is a place you can go and get free help.
Mm-hmm.
These are people who have an expertise in different types of research and in using online resources. And it's a place that you can just go and say, help.
Definitely. And they can definitely get you started. And sometimes they have an expertise where they can help you with more intricate questions, but that's not always available. This is more of I'm getting started and I need somebody to sit with me and help me through the process of getting started. This would be a great resource where you can find somebody who's also interested in family history and who is more than happy to help you get started.
Yeah. Now, suppose, Savannah, that somebody lives too far away from one of these locations. What's a good option then?
So if you live too far away from a family history center, or you need something that's a little bit more specific, for example, if you need specific German help or Swedish or Italian, we at the Family History Library offer what are called virtual research strategy sessions. And this is with specialists at the library like myself, where you can come to the wiki page and learn a little bit more about what they are, and then book a strategy session where we would meet with you on Zoom and talk to you for 20 minutes on what your research problem is and maybe what you should do next. It's not for us to do the research for you exactly, but for us to help you know what to do next so that you have the steps and you can feel empowered to do the research on your own.
That's great. So it's somewhat similar. I mean, it's kind of in person in a way, and it's personal help. And guidance in doing that research and empowering you with what to do with the next step.
Yeah, exactly. And for example, when you go to book a session, you book for a very specific area, the area where your ancestor lived. And I'm just walking through kind of the process of what that would look like. But we ask a few questions so that you don't feel like you're spending all of the time in the session explaining your problem to us. So instead of spending your time explaining your problem, you can spend your time here giving us all the information for your problem, the ancestor's name and birth date and information, so that we can walk into the strategy session and give you exactly what you need in the 20 minutes that we have together during that session.
Yeah, what's so cool, and behind this form, you can see that is the Family History Library in Salt Lake. And I think what's so cool about this is that when you are signing up for one of these strategy sessions, you're working with one of the experts from that library, and they'll take the time to think through, okay, what are the records that this person might need, and what sort of help they might need, and helping create that research plan, which honestly is one of the hardest things to do when you're beginning, or when you hit a brick wall where you're just like, I don't even know what my next step is. So yeah. Super helpful.
Absolutely. And yeah, this is offered by specialists at the library, but we're also expanding so that people from our affiliate libraries, people with very advanced skills, can also help. So this is in partnership with the Midwest Continent Library and other affiliate libraries that work with FamilySearch. We're trying to get you the best help wherever that is in the world.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And it actually brings up another question I had, because I know there are these other regional libraries and also genealogical societies and other groups that kind of exist to help in the same way, to kind of provide that sense of community and help. What can you tell us about those kind of local organizations?
So there are societies for help in your area or for help with specific regional things. There are societies for pretty much everything. So a great place that I would go to look to see if there's a society that can help me in my research needs is Cindy's List. So if you go to cindyslist.com/societies, here they have a pretty comprehensive alphabetical list of societies where you can be like, okay, I need help with my Danish research. And maybe you can just click on the D, and it will pull up all of the societies that they have found. And then I usually use Control F to bring up the little pop bar in the corner, and then type in Danish. And here are a list of Danish societies, both in Denmark and in America, where you can learn more about, like, where you can connect with these people and see what they have to offer when it comes to research help, or pretty much anything when it comes to that research. When it's research help or databases, it's really awesome to be able to connect with people who are like-minded, who have interests in the same things. You may be able to find cousins that way, or just somebody who is more experienced, who can hold your hand a little bit and walk you through the process.
Yeah, no, these would be people that have been doing it for years, and have the expertise and can answer those questions. And it's got me wondering what there might be. I mean, we live in an age of social media, and this starts to get at that a bit. And I wonder what there is out there, like what sort of other networks there might be that are more social in nature, like that people can take advantage of.
Oh, that's a great question. So FamilySearch has actually created a tool called the FamilySearch Communities page, which is similar to Facebook in the feel of it. It's kind of a forum where you can join groups and ask questions. So here, if you click on groups, and you can access this by going to community.familysearch.org. And then you can find certain groups by just searching for the research things that you're interested in. So for example, if you want to learn more about German research, you can type in Germany. and then search through the groups to see if there's anything that matches what you are interested in. And here there is a German genealogy group, and you can join it by just clicking join right here in the blue button. And then when you open this page,
It's nice that, that was pretty easy to find.
Oh yeah, definitely. When you come into these different groups, there's a section where you can post your questions, you can upload photos if you need translation help, or you can just ask about certain areas of research or a specific question when it comes to your research that you're really struggling with. And here, people can comment and help you with translation or give you little research clues that may help you move forward. So it's a really great resource. It's something that the specialists at the Family History Library, we check this frequently to make sure that we can answer those questions that have still gone unanswered. But it's also available if you know something about these areas, you can answer the question as well. And hobbyists around the world can also do that. So we've found a lot of really helpful people who just love to come in and answer questions. And they're people that we wouldn't have had on our radar any other way, but they're available through this community page where we can collaborate together.
That's cool. It creates that kind of network, and people do. When you have spent time to understand how to do this kind of research, and you've had some success, and you want to, that's kind of a natural instinct to kind of share that. So you can see these people love, in this case, German research, and they want to help. So that's super helpful for beginners. Yeah. And I guess you'd want to encourage any beginner to feel comfortable. You're not going to break anything. You're not going to do it wrong. If you've got a question, ask it.
Yes, and we're more than happy to answer it. And if this feels like it's not the right place for you, you can also find other forums that work more for your needs. For example, Facebook has several hundreds of different forums for genealogy that are really awesome. And they come in all different shapes and sizes. So for example, this is one that I follow called the Genealogy Squad, which focuses mostly, from what I've noticed, on American genealogy. But it's a place where you can come in and answer questions, ask questions, get help reading documents. And it's also a place where people come in and give the latest updates when it comes to genealogy tools and different things that you can use to ease your research burdens. And that's just one type of group that you can find on Facebook. They also have surname groups. And this is an example of a surname group. So one of my ancestors is John Fenn, and I just typed his name into the search bar on the Facebook groups section. And this whole group came up with 190 members of people who are descendants of John Fenn. So this is an awesome way to connect with people and share stories and pictures, because you're all working on the same ancestry. So you are all family in a way.
That's cool. Yeah, and again, that's just such an easy place. It's easy to jump in here, and ask questions and take advantage of that fact that people do, people are passionate about this and they want to share. So I think that's great. Super great. So what happens, I'm thinking through a typical scenario with a beginner who starts, they make some discoveries, they get down the path of it, and maybe they run out of time, or they run out of steam a little bit. They've come up against a brick wall. What then? What then would you say, Savannah?
Well, if you've started your research and you've tried to figure it out on your own, and you're just feeling overwhelmed, then it may be time to consider hiring a professional. We do have a lot of resources where you can figure out a lot on your own, but sometimes a problem is just completely over your head, and that is okay. There are a lot of options when it comes to hiring a professional. When it comes to the major genealogy websites, If you go to some of the subscription websites, they can connect you to professionals right away. For example, if you come to Ancestry and click on Help, you can click on Hire an Expert, and it will walk you through the steps to hire an expert. And similar things are found through MyHeritage, Find My Past, where they can kind of connect you to an expert in the field. But if you're looking for something more specific, there are also ways to do that. The one thing that I would suggest is that you want to find somebody who is a professional and who has professional credentials when it comes to genealogy research. That way, you know that you are getting the best research possible.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And one thought that's coming to mind is it seems like there's probably a range of services that these professionals could help you with. I mean, from, getting a certain record, or if there's a certain person, you're trying to identify information about that person in your tree, and that's going to open up a lot. You could get help with just that part, or if you're really want to hand off the whole project, I think that's also an option, and in between, so whatever, that is a good option for people in certain circumstances, for sure.
Well, definitely. The professional genealogists can help in a lot of different ways, whether it's just helping you create your family story from what you've already done, to helping you walk through the research if you want to do it more on your own, or somebody who looks up records for you that you can access on your own, or somebody who just does it all for you. If you wanted to contact a professional and just kind of talk with them about the different options when it comes to what they offer, a lot of them are very flexible when it comes to, oh, I can do this for you. And they can kind of create a service that is specific to your needs.
Yeah. Yeah. And it seems like, it's like a lot of other things. You could also ask them for an example, like send me an example of a history you've written up for somebody. But just a great resource in those times where you've just hit a wall. I know I've talked to people who have done that when they've reached the end ancestor before, the immigrant, where did that immigrant come from? And was that family like? And sometimes you just hit a specialized area of research that's just hard. So
definitely. And these people are trained. They know how to navigate those difficult areas. And that's what they're used to doing, is navigating those areas that nobody else can. So it's definitely a resource to consider if you really want to push your tree back, but have no idea how. Yeah. And to find a good professional, there are two websites that I would suggest that will really get you the best that the genealogy world has to offer. The first is icapgen.org. They have a database of professionals who have reached an accreditation in a very specific area. So here, that not only are they professionals in the sense that they know how to do the research, but they know a lot about these areas that are written down here. So you can sort by the professionals themselves or the area you're looking for. So for example, if you want somebody who knows Italian, then you can click on Europe and then find Italy, and it will bring you a list of people who are specifically trained and ready to help you with your Italian ancestry. Similarly, there's another website called the Board for Certification of Genealogists. And this one works in a very similar way, where they are required to go through certain training. This is not so much geographic specific, but methodology specific for this type of genealogist. But you can still type in an area, for example, Sweden, and you will come up with genealogists who have certified through this website, through this board of certification. And you can look through these and see who works best for your needs. You can read their biographies and then contact them and talk with them if you want to learn a little bit more.
Cool. Yeah, it looks like there's lots of help out there if people need it.
Definitely.
All of us need it at some point, right? No one can know everything.
Exactly. And I often talk to some of these professionals. I consider myself a professional, but I don't know everything. So I use all of these resources for one reason or another throughout my research.
We are excited to be here today to talk about resources that are available online to help us with our family history journey. So Savannah, what would you like to talk about?
There are tons of resources that are available to beginners as they get ready in their, as they start their family history journey. The one that I want to talk about first is the record hinting on online family trees. And most family tree websites where you can build a family tree have some kind of record hinting integrated into this. So right now I'm showing you the FamilySearch family tree, where if you build out a family, um, and you add them into the database, FamilySearch will search on the back end through all of their databases, and it will give you little record hints or little blue boxes that show you, hey, this might be a record for your ancestor. And it's a really great way to just kind of get started in your family history journey, finding through the easy database records. And FamilySearch brings them right to you. And a lot of the other websites do something very similar where they bring the records right to you. And all you have to do is look at them and decide whether or not they belong to your family. So it's a great way to get started if you're just kind of testing the waters with genealogy.
So it seems like, Savannah, it really saves you time because, instead of doing an individual search and having to know, oh, I'm going to look in this database for this person, it's kind of a quick search of everything, which saves a ton of time.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. And especially for areas that you're not super comfortable with, like this family is in Sweden. If you've never done research in Sweden, you may not know what records are available. And this can kind of introduce you to some of the records that you're going to be working with as you start in a new area. So for example, this Swedish record is a household examination book. And if you've never done Swedish records before, that kind of gives you an idea of like, okay, so this is kind of a census. And you can kind of learn more about the source and look at the source. It's a good way to start and to get a little bit more information before you feel like you're diving into unknown territory.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. And you mentioned this is a FamilySearch, and you mentioned that other websites do the same thing.
Yeah, so there are several websites that do the same thing. For example, Ancestry. Let me pull up a tree there. This is one of my ancestry trees, and it has a similar feature with record hints, and they call it, I call them shaky leaves, where if there's a leaf on it, you can click on it and it will say 12 ancestry hints. And if you click on the leaf, it will bring up all of the ancestry hints in a list. And in a similar way, it will give you information about these hints, and you can look at the images, you can look at the indexes and decide whether or not it belongs to your family. And if it does, you can just click save and it goes along. MyHeritage does something similar. You can see it here. They search both for other trees that are similar as well as record hints. So this little green button where it says smart matches, that would be like trees that are similar. And then the brown button would be record matches. It also gives a feature called discovery, where you see I've put in a little tree here, and it's saying discovery. And if you click on this, or if you hover over it, it will show you, we have a match for this person. And if you look at this match and add it to your tree, it will add 39 other people, which is huge, especially as you're getting started, to be able to look through these databases and collaborate with these databases and add a lot of people to your tree really quickly.
Yeah, that's cool. It's like you come with what you know. Like in this case, this tree on MyHeritage, you've been able to kind of type in what you know, and then it automatically is starting to look for ways to grow that. And then what happens when you click on
So if you click on it, it will load up the two next to each other. So you see here on the left is my tree, and I don't have a lot about this person at all. And if you look on the right, they've got an image and a lot of different information. And I've seen that image before. So yeah, I know that's my great grandfather. And so I can click yes, and it will merge them together and add all of the people into the tree. So it's just taking a little bit of time to confirm that.
Yeah.
And if you look, here are all of the people that will be added.
Wow, with photos too.
Yeah, they've got pictures and information for all of these people, which is awesome. It really jumpstarts my research so that I can jump in and not redo work that somebody else has already done. But then I can also go in and read these stories and see these pictures that other people have already found.
So show us your tree again. That pulls. Oh,
Yeah, so if I add this to my tree, and then it'll bring it back to the tree so I can show you.
See how that, because that had to have made a big addition.
You see here, now that's where I started, and I added to this Lyle.
That's cool.
And if you pull it over, oh, yeah, congratulations, we've added 40 new people and 25 new photos to your tree. But you can look over here and see all of these new people that were added to my tree just by using one discovery hint.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
And MyHeritage isn't the only one that does something like this. Ancestry does a similar thing, and FamilySearch, because it's a wiki, you can easily tap into that knowledge as well by adding what you know and then connecting into the larger tree of FamilySearch. So it's a really great step and a really good first step as you start your genealogy, because you don't want to do work that somebody else has already done. You want to find the discoveries. And this will help you to find what you don't know, but what somebody else has already done, which is the most exciting part. It's the most fun part.
Well, and you hit the ground running. Well, that's
Yeah.
so cool. Now, these sites, I mean, I know from what I know about these sites, they have a lot of other resources as well, right? I mean, so
yeah.
you've got this tree building that can help you take what you know and then expand it based on what maybe the community knows or what other researchers have added. But I know that they offer other ways to help you with your family history.
Yes, absolutely. So if you've put in your tree and kind of exhausted the record hints that are showing up, and you maybe want to start doing a little bit more research into the records, doing what doesn't come up easily, the first resource that I would suggest is the FamilySearch Wiki. And you can find it by going to the FamilySearch main page. So if you hover over search, and then you click on Research Wiki, this is a database of records and articles that can help you learn more about family history from different places all over the world. If you want to learn more about a certain area, you can just click on it on this map, or if you want to learn something specific, you can type into it here. And you can just click search, and several articles will come up where you can kind of dive right into the records in a specific area or a specific type of record. If you wanted to type in like tax records in the US, you could learn more about tax records specifically. So it's a really great resource if you want to just dive into what those records are and how to use them.
Yeah.
But it also gives a really good step for beginners if you're really just unsure, you don't even know what to look for to start, and you want to get going. If you, on this main page, click on guided research, here it will offer different helpful steps as you get started in your process. So all of the green areas are areas where guided research is available. So for example, if I wanted guided research in England, I could click on the map where it says England, and then it kind of walks me through the process that I need to know. So it says, do you know the county where your ancestor lived? And if you do, you can click on that. And then, like, for example, if my ancestor was in Kent County, I would click on that, and then it would ask me what kind of information I'm looking for. And you can just kind of walk through the process. I want to find a birth record, and it will give you links to different places where you can find birth records, and you can search easily through them.
That's cool, because sometimes you don't know. I mean, you know, you're trying to find where that person was born, but you don't know whether that's going to be for the time frame, and you don't know whether that's going to be a church record or a government record, or there's a lot of unknowns. And what's nice here, it's funneling us to the right type of information that we're looking for. I guess that's why they call it guided research.
And it definitely is a great way to learn about the records, especially for a beginner when you don't know anything about them. This will bring you right to the place you need to start. And then if these records, if these sources that come up first don't work, they also have options where you can look for additional resources or substitute records. And if you can't find it for some reason, it tells you like why this record may not exist. So you can learn more as you go and understand, okay, so this is why my record may not be there, or here's another place I can look if I don't find it in the obvious place. So it's a great way to get started as you're diving into the records and trying to learn more about the actual research side.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. What about other sites? I mean, are there other things like this?
Yeah, so most of the research sites have some kind of tool when it comes to guided research. So for example, MyHeritage has what they call the knowledge base. And here they have several articles and different videos that can teach you more about your ancestry. But you can come in and try a couple different things, or you can come through and browse their webinars. You want to learn more about LDS research, there's a section on that, or how to generate charts and graphics. Usually these are more specific to the website they're associated with. So if you use MyHeritage as your main website, then you can come here and learn how to use MyHeritage and make the most of it. And FamilySearch has a very similar thing, and it's kind of hidden. So people kind of get lost, but it's up in this top area where it says help. If you click on help, and then you click on help center, and then learning center, you can find really helpful videos here. So if you type in Sweden here, it will bring up all of the different classes we have on Swedish research. And you can do the same thing for several other countries, Germany, England. You can do it for specific areas and see if there are specialists here at the library who have created content that will help you to get started. If you have a more specific research problem, like for example, if you have really deep American ancestry, there are different societies that create similar content. For example, American Ancestors, or the New England Historical Genealogy Society, has created a website where they have also added videos and webinars and guided research tools for their patrons to use. And this one specifically, you don't have to be a member to enjoy these research tools. All you have to do is have a free login to this website.
Well, and that's a key principle there, Savannah, because each of these sites that you're showing, some are free, like FamilySearch is free to access pretty much most of that site. American Ancestors, like you said, is free with an account, like if you sign up and have an account. Sites like Ancestry and MyHeritage are paid sites, but they offer I want to say it's usually a couple of weeks, like a 2-week trial that you can kind of get a feel for it and see if that's the resource that's going to help you in the way that you learn, or the way that you want to do it. So that is something to keep in mind as you're looking at these different resources and trying them out. Is to understand kind of that pay structure.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a clarification, this American Ancestors one, American Ancestors has a lot of things that are behind their membership paywall. So they've got different databases and events and things that you can attend as long as you're a member, which is a paid subscription. But there are a lot of things on their site that are just free to users with a login. And there are several sites that are like that, where if you create a login, you can access so many things for free. But then if you want to unlock everything that the website has to offer, then you do have to pay a subscription sometimes.
Oh, that's good. That's a good clarification. Now, some of the stuff that I've seen that you've shown us here, and some stuff I'm familiar with, It comes in different formats. I know these days we are kind of a YouTube generation. It feels like I think it's easy for us to learn through video, and I wonder what these sites might have in the way of video, like to help show us what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did mention that Ancestry or My Heritage Knowledge Base does have a few videos, but Ancestry also does. And then FamilySearch has a help center that also has video. But if you are just looking for content really quickly, the best place to go or to start is YouTube. And here, again, I'm using Swedish because that's my specialty. But if you type in Swedish genealogy, you can have things pull up really quickly from different sites. So here's a record video on how to do Swedish genealogy from Ancestry. And then here is a page called the Swedish Genealogy Guide that you can subscribe to that has videos as well on how to read record handwriting. You see different things about charts. So you can kind of get an idea about different areas of research based on what they have in YouTube. This one is the Swedish Genealogy Guide. You can you can watch this video and then it'll bring up similar videos on the side as well.
Well, and what's so cool about that is you can get really, I mean, that's a pretty specific research thing, but that's so helpful. Like what's on screen now, you can see this is the way the different letters likely looked in the records that you're researching. So, you know, it seems like this is a resource that is super helpful for this kind of specific stuff.
And this one specifically is created not by one of the big websites, but by a specific person, this Jeff Morris, who actually works at the library. And he's created this resource that is super valuable and put it onto YouTube where you can easily find it if you are just willing to run a quick search.
Yeah. Oh, that's so helpful. That is great. Well, Savannah, I think these have been some pretty awesome tips to help people get started. You know, when you first are starting the family history journey, it can seem overwhelming. And I know that this has been a helpful guide of these sites and other resources that can help people get a good head start. So thank you for the time and your expertise, and we'll see you next time.
My pleasure. We'll see you.